Hi, I'm here with Bettina Plendl of Financial Divorce Strategies out of Nanaimo. Bettina offers financial planning services to clients going through separation or divorce, so she can help people put together proposals about how to divide up their assets, or just simply even put together a budget for how to live their post-separation life. Now, something that comes up for me, Bettina, a lot is clients who are feeling very nervous about money, and they feel like they don't understand the situation enough, and they tell me, well, I think a forensic accounting must be done, or I think we must trace the money and make sure that everything's there. Now, is that something you would recommend that people hire you to do in most circumstances?
No, not absolutely in most circumstances, only in special circumstances. If the person, your client, has really the feeling, well, I'm short 50 or 100,000, it simply doesn't line up what we have, what the income was we had over the last years or for the time of relationship. So somewhere there must be a hole. So now, and depending for how long the person thinks this is going on, we might have to go back in time. So the process would be to go to the bank and obtain all those statements for the accounts in question, and then really combing through them transaction by transaction.
So
And
how long would this typically take?
if it goes back years, it can be multiple hours, and people sometimes look at about almost a week of full work, a full week of work. So like 40 hours, up to 40 hours. Let's say if it's one account for about 10, 15 years. So that is, in my experience, often the time frame we look at things, and it can be very tedious, but it can be done, and sometimes it needs to be done.
And that's 40 hours for 10 to 15 years for one account. So if there's many accounts, you multiply that work, right?
Yes.
So how much would someone, if they're looking to hire you to do that, what's the expense that they're looking at for this kind of assistance?
I would say 5,000 plus. That's what you look at.
Minimum.
Yeah, minimum.
Yeah.
So it again, if you're looking for, depending for how much, so far it hasn't been that successful. Yes, there was money transferred out, but not really the amount justifying the time, the delay on the file, and the costs to it, as that's only one fraction of the whole bill, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is,
because certainly
difficult.
if the other party is not willing to give you records, then that'll be an expense to go and get those records, because it's not standard to share 10 to 15 years of records with the other side. So there has to be some sort of legal basis to demand such extensive disclosure.
Yes. And the banks charge you.
Records,
yeah, and the banks will charge you because hardly anybody has 10 years or 15 years of bank statements printed off or electronically available. And then potentially a lawyer needs to be involved to obtain more documents from the other side. Mm-hmm. So it can add, I would say, bottom line, potentially up to 15, 20,000, taking everything into consideration, including my time. And it needs to be worth it, absolutely. But it can be done, no question asked.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Bettina. And I'm sure we'll be checking in with you again soon.
Thank you, Laurel.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.